Hey cruising crew, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Alexis, and in today's video we're going over the ultimate high seas adventure. Today I'm breaking down my top 5 favorite cruises of all time. Get ready for some serious wanderlust as I spill the tea on the best cruise lines, jaw-dropping destinations, and all the reasons these voyages stole my heart. From epic onboard vibes to unforgettable shore excursions, this list is packed with fun and surprises. So grab your sunscreen, hit that subscribe button, and let's just get into it. Okay, let's start it off strong with number 5. That's going to be my 12th-night Mediterranean Venice cruise. This was on board Royal Caribbean's Vision of the Seas. This was an unforgettable cruise because not only was 12 nights, so it was a long time, and we went to some incredible ports. So let's get into the ports that I went to that I loved so much about this cruise. So we did sail through Venice, and what was so great about this cruise, which I didn't realize at the time, is now cruise ships are not allowed to do their sail in through Venice. And so we actually got to experience that, which was really awesome. Venice is a tender port, but it doesn't really matter because the sail in is so beautiful. You're not gonna be mad about it. Venice is awesome. It has great shopping, it has good food, and good history there. So I loved Venice. We also went to my first time at the Amalfi Coast, and on this day it was really nice. We ended up doing a tour at Pompeii in the morning, and then for the afternoon we got on a small boat where we sailed along the coast of the Amalfi Coast, and we went to Positano for the day. We had lunch, we walked around, we definitely got our steps in, and I loved the Amalfi Coast. We also went to a couple stops in Croatia. So we did go to Montenegro, and that is one of my favorite spots to go to. The sail in from Montenegro is absolutely incredible. You never want to miss it. It's a long one too. And then of course we did that famous hike that we like to do. We also went to Split, Croatia, and here we did a Game of Thrones tour because this was back when the show was really big and we were really big fans of Game of Thrones, so that was a lot of fun. Now, this cruise was out of Barcelona, so that was really fun. There's so much to do in Barcelona. There's markets, there's different food, there's shopping. What we ended up doing was we went to the Sagrada de Familia. If you know, that's the famous church there, and so that was really cool. My biggest takeaway from this trip was the sailaways. So before we got on the ship, we did book an ultimate dining package because we knew the layout of the ship and we knew the locations of each specialty restaurant was good. All of the specialty restaurants on this ship had ceiling to floor windows, and so every night while we ate dinner, we got to watch some lovely sailaways. Number 4 is going to be my 10-night Iceland cruise on board the Celebrity Eclipse. This was an epic cruise once again. So this was out of Ireland, and so before our cruise, we actually got to spend a few days in Dublin, and I absolutely love Dublin. I would go back again and again. I really enjoyed our time, nightlife. I enjoyed walking along the river, all the delicious food. Dublin is really such a vibe, and I really want to go back there someday. So we cruised out of Ireland, and then we also went to Belfast, Ireland, where we had the most epic Game of Thrones tour ever. If you are a fan of Game of Thrones, this is the ultimate tour. So we went to a location where they had shot some scenes from the show from previous seasons. Our tour guides were actually extras in the show, so that was really cool. They dressed us up in cloaks. We got to sword fight, we got to do archery, and we got to meet and pet the actual real direwolves from the show. It was unforgettable. It was amazing. I'll let you in on a little secret. They actually dye the direwolves different colors to be the different ones in the show because there's only a couple of them. So that was really interesting to find out. I loved this tour. We then went to Iceland, which was pretty epic. We went to Akureyri, Iceland, which was a little quiet place, little town in Iceland that was really nice, very picturesque. And then we did have an overnight in Reykjavik. And what we ended up doing was renting a car so that way we could do multiple things. We did some of the iconic things. We did go to the Blue Lagoon, which was amazing. We actually ended up having great weather. And I suggest if you do go to Reykjavik, you have to do the Blue Lagoon. We also went and saw the geysers, which was really cool. And then we also did do the famous waterfall. My biggest takeaway from this trip is actually going to be the fact that it was always light out. So since we were in the Arctic Circle, we were always having light out. So it was kind of weird at night when there was still light out. We were at the nightclub one night. It was like 2 in the morning and it was still light out and it was kind of trippy, but it was really cool. So this next one is I'm actually kind of cheating because I'm actually taking 3 different cruises and putting it into one. And that is because I actually did 3 back-to-back cruises on the same ship without getting off. So number 3 is going to be my 34 days transatlantic to Spain, Italy, Greek Isles, and Turkey on board the Celebrity Beyond. So yes, I did do 34 days on one cruise ship, and that's because I did transatlantic, took about 14 days, and we went to Barcelona, which this time in Barcelona, we actually went and toured the Barca Stadium. This was before they started the new stadium. We went to Cartagena, Spain, where we ended up doing an excursion away from the ship. We took about a 30-minute taxi where we ended up doing a really cool kayaking tour, and we went like underwater caves. It's kind of dangerous now that I think of it, but we turned out okay. So it was totally fun. So on the course of this month, we ended up going to Rome, I think about 3, maybe 4 times. Each time we did something a little different. We had a great tour guide every time. And my favorite one is we got to tour inside the Colosseum, which has always been a dream for us. It was really cool. It was awesome to just hear all the history. So that was my favorite. We also went to Florence, Italy, where we did an epic excursion. We not only got to go inside the famous Duomo, but we got to go on top of the Duomo, the very top. And it was so surreal to be that high, to be overlooking the beautiful city of Florence was just unforgettable. We also went to Naples a couple times, which Naples has really good pizza. We did go back to the Amalfi Coast, and I did get to go back to Positano. I did get to do some shopping, and I love the Amalfi Coast. It's just so classic. We then made our trek through Greece, where we went to Olympia, we went to Athens, we went to the famous Mykonos, had a great lunch there, and we went to the famous Santorini, where we got to have an amazing sunset dinner. We got the most amazing sunset dinner view. It was absolutely unforgettable. I love Greece so much. It was really pretty. We also got to go to Turkey for the first time, which was really unforgettable. Before this trip, I wasn't sure if I was gonna like Turkey, but after visiting, I think I really like it. So we went to Ephesus, which was really cool. My favorite was we did an overnight in Istanbul, and this was truly unforgettable. First off, where you dock in Istanbul is incredible. There's so much to do right there. There's restaurants, shopping, it's insane. We ended up booking a private tour with a guide for us, and he was able to get us to go everywhere we wanted as fast as we wanted. He took us to the Blue Mosque, the Hagia Sophia, the Grand Bazaar. We even got to go see like how the rugs were made. It was an incredible time. The next day when we were there in port, we asked him if he could come back and give us another tour, and he ended up getting us again and took us to the Asian side of Istanbul, which was really interesting. Another thing that I really liked about Istanbul was the sail away. It's like 2 hours long. What we ended up doing was sitting at Raw on 5 because they have ceiling to floor windows. And so we watched the whole sail away while eating oysters. We did go to Montenegro. Again, we did the hike that we like to do. We also went to Croatia and we went to Dubrovnik, which was incredible for us because we are big Game of Thrones fans. And a lot of the show was filmed in Dubrovnik. And so we ended up booking a tour with this girl that also loves Game of Thrones. She took us to all of the spots that they filmed in the show, and she was really knowledgeable about the show. She even had pictures of where we were and the scenes from the show, and it was an incredible tour. I think that if you like Game of Thrones and you go to Dubrovnik, you have to do a Game of Thrones tour. My biggest takeaway from this is actually going to be the ship itself. So, if you've watched a couple of my other videos, you know that I actually really like this class of ship. I love the Celebrity Beyond. I have been on this ship so many different times, not just on these 3 cruises, but so many different times. I even have Celebrity Beyond booked for my future cruises as well. If you guys would like a Celebrity Beyond review, I have a video of that I break down all of my honest reviews on the ship, what I liked about it, what I don't like about it. And so if you guys want to take a watch, I will link the video down below. Number 2 is going to be my 11-night Great Barrier Reef cruise on board the Celebrity Eclipse. So not only did I love this cruise because it was Australia, like Australia is so far away, I never thought I'd be able to go, nonetheless cruise through Australia, but I also love this cruise because it was my honeymoon cruise. So I did spend my honeymoon in Australia on this cruise, and it was unforgettable. We sailed all along one side of Australia, went to so many different cool beaches. My 2 favorite excursions from this trip is going to be, we went to Arley Beach, which is like a famous beach in Australia, and we went jet skiing for an entire day. We got to get in the water, go jet skiing, and it was really fun. It was just a fun day of adrenaline, letting loose, having fun. I did get really badly sunburned, however, but it was totally worth it. My favorite excursion from this cruise is going to be that we snorkeled in the Great Barrier Reef. So there are some likes and dislikes from this day that I remember, but it's still such an incredible day that it's so up there with all my excursions. So the Great Barrier Reef, it's to get there, it's about an hour and a half to 2 hour boat ride. And you're on a smaller boat and you're in the middle of the ocean. Like you have to go far. And so the water is a little choppy. So almost everyone on our little excursion on our boat got sick at least once. I may have gotten sick a couple times, but it was fine. It was worth it. But once we got to the Great Barrier Reef, we got to get off the boat and just explore for hours. It was a long, long day in the sun and in the water, but it was so awesome just to be in such an iconic place that most people will never get to go to, and I will never forget it. Now, where the ship was docked was absolutely magical. So it's docked in Sydney, and the views are insane. You have the bridge, you have the Sydney Opera House, and there's so much to do right there when you get off the ship. It's just like shopping, there's eats, like all so many activities. It's a really good spot for the ship to be in. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that way you're always updated with all things cruising and travel. Now, are you ready for my #1 cruise of all time? It's going to be my 12-night New Zealand cruise on board the Celebrity Eclipse. So, the reasons why I love this cruise, 2 main reasons. One, it's New Zealand. New Zealand is such an iconic place that most people don't get to go to. And 2, this was my wedding cruise. So I took this cruise prior to my Australia cruise, hence that was the honeymoon, and it was just an unforgettable experience. We did have our family on board, which made it special. And all the ports that we went to, I remember so vaguely because it was an unreal experience. So we sailed out of Sydney and went all around New Zealand. We went to Dunedin, where we went to an awesome castle with the most amazing views. I still think about this day because those views and the scenery were just unreal. We went to Christchurch, which was a nice little town that we got to walk around. And if you guys know New Zealand, you may or may not have heard of a little movie called Lord of the Rings, because Lord of the Rings, part of it was shot, a lot of it was shot in New Zealand. And we are the biggest Lord of the Rings fans. Like, we are really big fans. So before going on this cruise, we really wanted to make sure that we incorporated some type of tours that involve Lord of the Rings, since we are big fans, and that is exactly what we did. One of the spots that we went to was Wellington, where we did do a little Lord of the Rings tour. It was booked for just like my immediate family, and we went all around to different places that they had filmed in the movie. It was really neat to see. And then we also did like a studio tour where they had a bunch of props from the movie and stuff like that, like stuff from the movie, which was really, really cool. Then we did the ultimate Lord of the Rings tour. Like, if you like Lord of the Rings, I don't think there's a bigger excursion or tour that you can do other than this. So we actually docked in Turunga and then took about an hour bus ride, and we then got to Hobbiton. Hobbiton is so iconic. This is where they shot The Shire in the movie, and it was so much fun to just go here, and it looks exactly like how it did in the movie. We got to spend the entire day here. It was unforgettable. We got so many pictures, and it was cool to just like relive the movie. We felt like we were the hobbits themselves, like Frodo and stuff. And it was just a really fun time, even for some of our family members had never watched Lord of the Rings, and even they had such a great time. We even had some snacks and a beer in the Green Dragon, which was really cool. And it was just the ultimate Lord of the Rings excursion. We also went to an iconic spot in New Zealand. We cruised through the fjords, and we actually picked this day as our wedding day. And we knew it was kind of a risky thing to do to book it while going through the fjords because, as you know, New Zealand is insanely green. The reason why it's green is because it rains a lot. And especially in these fjords, it rains a lot. So they said it's usually never sunny, the sun never comes out there. When we woke up on wedding day, we had the most beautiful weather. The sun was shining. The weather was great. Even some of the staff was shocked at like, this never happens. Like, we got so lucky. So we were able to enjoy our ceremony where the captain did marry us. And then we were able to enjoy the rest of the day outside on deck on the lawn club to enjoy that lovely weather. My biggest takeaway from this cruise is obviously going to be the fact that I got married on this cruise and then I got to have my family with me. This cruise will definitely be hard to top, but I really enjoyed it. I cherish all the memories, and that's why it's my number one. Well, there you have it, cruising crew. Those are my top 5 favorite cruises as of right now. I would love to hear from you guys. What are your top cruises? And I would also like to know what cruise line you like to cruise with the most. It seems that most of my favorite cruises are with Celebrity Cruises, so I would love to hear from you guys which cruise line you like to cruise with the most. Please leave me a comment down below. If you guys found this video helpful or enjoyed it at all, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so you're always updated with all things cruising and travel. Don't forget to always seize a day, and I'll catch you in the next one.